Hello and welcome back to the Spook House. It's time for our long overdue Halloween 45/LA week-long extravaganza. Doug is dancing. He's feeling it. It's a late night. This episode's been postponed so many times, but you know, we finally got our schedules to line up. So here we are. We're going to talk all about it. My name is Phil. This is my lovely co-host, Doug. Rohan Campbell, I apologize for everything. Galliardo.
He is my favorite human being. And I will not deny that. I will shit on the movie the whole time, but never Rohan Campbell. Rohan Campbell is the sweetest dicked man I ever saw.
Sweetest what?
He seems like he has a pretty sweet dick.
Okay, I was like, did I hear that right? What
Just the way he carries himself, you know he's got a big honker down there.
All right, you heard it here first. Rohan Campbell, great actor, better dick.
Not that I know from experience, but you know, he was going to carry the torch for Michael Myers, and they dropped the ball on that.
Well, hey, we've always said we've never trashed his acting or anything like that. We've always said he was good in what he was given, but he was just given a shit script, which is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, and it's a shame that they didn't really run with something different and new, but because Rohan Campbell, you saw me at the convention.
You were flustered.
I was obsessed with this guy. But we're going to get into all that. We literally have so many things to talk about. So this episode is probably going to be like Stranger Things length long.
I hope not, but...
Phil said late, but it's only 9 o'clock.
Well, you know, it's not late, but this is around the time of the night where I'm like, okay, time to start shutting my brain off.
It's Grandpa Phil late.
Gotta get it how you fit it, I guess.
We didn't, and honestly, when we were in California, we didn't stay up crazy late any night.
No, not really. Even with the jet lag and the time change, I mean, yeah. I gotta be honest, I miss sleeping in a tent every night in the backyard.
You really made that backyard your own. That was like your own little studio apartment out there. The air mattress was wonderful.
Yeah, so we stayed with one of my longtime friends, John. Shout out to John if you're listening.
Yes,
thank you
John
so
and
much
Brenna.
for, John and Brenna and their lovely dog Bessie. Who would come out to the tent every morning and put her little snoot up to the tent. I don't know if you've ever booped a snoot through a tent before. It's the cutest shit ever. And
she was kind of being a little slut. She went from the couch with me. She was resting her snoot on my butt through the fleece. She'd do that for a little bit, and then I'd hear her go through the doggy door, and I'm like, all right, she's going to Phil. She'll be back eventually.
Then I would unzip the tent. She would hop right up, and I would go right back to sleep. It was great.
Might be the best part of the trip, having that dog just run around the house and have that distressor there for us.
But yeah, sleeping in the tent, had a nice air mattress, comforter, pillows. I slept great. I mean, it got pretty cold at night, but
yeah, you were wearing there's a couple of mornings where I came out and you were wearing a full-on beanie.
Oh, you had to. Beanie and socks. After that, you're good with the comforter.
And you usually sleep with an eye mask on. I feel like if I slept with a hat on, I would get too distracted. I would feel it on me and I would get annoyed because I usually sleep butt ass naked. So anything on me while I'm sleeping besides comforters or blankets would be really weird.
Well, when it gets that cold out there, you kind of have to. But I got to say, I miss hearing the traffic of the 101 at night. The first few nights, it was a little wow, that's pretty loud. But after a while, it just became ambient noise.
Very relaxing.
In my first night back in my apartment, I was like, this feels off. Like it's too quiet in my room. It's too dark. It's not lit up by the moonlight.
Yeah, it was and this was your first time in California, so everything was completely brand spanking new for you.
Yeah. First time in California. Where do we start with the trip, Doug?
I mean, we could talk about I kind of want to talk about the whole trip from top to bottom.
All right. Well, you made a little list of things, so the first thing on the list should be we were dead ass tired the entire, especially the first day. I mean, that was brutal because I had like let's see, I must have got up at like 5 a.m. for my flight in North Carolina, flew to California and forced myself to stay awake until like 11 or something, 12.
Yeah, something like that. We didn't even really force. Are you talking about the first night in California?
Yeah, first night. Doug's checking his notes.
Because I was like, wait, let me check. I don't really remember us forcing ourselves, but I know we were planning on going to like, we wanted to keep it real low key for the first day because we knew we would be literally brain wrecked. Like Phil even got 6 hours of sleep, which is my usual. I got 2 hours of sleep.
Oof.
But Phil took sleeping pills. I was just on like pure adrenaline. I tried going to sleep at like, I literally went into bed at like 10 o'clock precisely. I don't think I went to bed until, I don't know, 2 maybe? My body just wouldn't, it was the mixture of excitement and anticipation. And I woke up at like 4:30. So I think I got like 2 hours, 2.5 maybe. And I never wear like sunglasses, but like I was the sunglass fucking kid on this trip. I didn't want to see any sunlight that morning. I had my Maniac shades on, the Joe Spinells over here.
Hey.
I was rocking these on the plane. So originally, Phil was supposed to get there like 45 minutes before my flight arrived. We tried to get like matching flights, and it wasn't that bad. And then I got to the airport stupid early. Like I texted Phil, I'm like, "Yo, I'm here. What's up? Good morning."
Yeah.
How is your brain? And originally my flight was 8 o'clock, but this was during the state of emergency rain. That didn't quite happen yet, so my flight got delayed to 8:38. And then I was in the airport, like zoned out, looking to get a bagel or something. I didn't want to take my Zoloft that early.
This is getting very detailed. You guys appreciate it.
We're getting everything. We're getting everything. Yeah. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
All right.
Because we were at the bottom of the barrel that day. That's what it fucking felt like. We were literal sewer excrement. But I was walking past one of the boards, and I saw that there was a 7... I literally got through security in 8 minutes. And I saw there was a flight to LA at 7 a.m. And I went up to the help desk. Help desk? Is that what that was called at the fucking airport?
Yeah, that'll work.
Help desk. But the very nice gentleman, I asked him if I could switch my flight, if there was any space on the earlier flight. He click-clacked away in the computer, and I was out of there in 20 minutes.
Nice.
And it only... You said you were going to get an earlier flight too, but I don't think that worked out.
It was like, again, very specific, 7:55 a.m., direct flight to California.
Hell yeah.
So, finally land, and we had to get the rental car. We had to eventually meet up, which that was a whole journey in itself, and waiting, an hour to rent the car. So, long story short, we finally rent the car, head to John's, and...
What I found funny was when we were on the line waiting to... because we had to take a shuttle bus from the airport to Hertz.
Right.
And we rented it through Thrifty. It's like a bunch of little, I hate this word, but I'll say it, kiosk. There's too many K's in that word, kiosk.
All right.
Too many K's pushed together. It's like they're titty fucking the vowels.
Jesus.
But I found it funny how people kept asking us questions. Like we were like the mayor of Hertz. That one lady was like, the minutes on my phone do you guys know what to do? You're like,
Yeah.
this is my first time doing this. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's like you're in trouble if you're asking us for help. I mean, we tried our best, but
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
We were just trying to think outside the box for her, but she just looked very confused. I felt bad.
We did Halloween Horror Nights the second night, right?
The second night on
Yes.
the 27th, which was the Wednesday. So the first night we just kept it low key, and we went out to dinner with John, Brenna, and Vanessa. Was Gucci homegirl.
Big shout out to Vanessa. We hung out with her for like, I don't know how many days, 3 or 4 or something, and very cool listener of the show. She has the Frightful clothing line, so check that out. But
Hell yeah, she was the best. She was rolling with us the whole time, dealing with our stupidity,
including to Halloween Horror Nights. What was your favorite maze of the night?
aside from the escalators, because that was a maze in and of itself.
Yeah.
Did you know it was that high? Because I sure didn't.
What, your anxiety or the escalators?
Well, no.
Oh.
My anxiety was actually pretty fine.
Okay, so whenever you're going up to Universal Studios, you know, you're driving on the street, and then to get to the parking garage, it goes up a pretty large hill. And that's when you started, that was like the first sign of trouble. You're like, holy shit, that's a high road.
Yeah.
How high does this go? Wait, so we're gonna walk, where do we walk once we park? And you were just like starting to freak out, and you're like, I'm getting really hot. I was like, so take off your hoodie. You were like, no, but it's comforting. So I'm like, shit, this is gonna get, yeah. It was the first time that I had, I've heard you talk about this stuff, but I've never seen it happen.
Yeah.
You know?
It's usually a lot worse, because the Zoloft definitely helped calm things down, because I'm so familiar with the anxiety that it wasn't happening. Like, the usual stuff wasn't happening. Like, I was getting hot because I was just working myself up, because that's what I usually do. And then my vision starts getting weird and I start not breathing. But like with the Zoloft, I was able to breathe okay, and my eyesight was okay. So enough oxygen was getting to my brain, so it was just the initial like shock, because as you can tell, I was asking you neurotic questions and very detailed things, like how far is the fucking, because Phil went to go look to see if there were any escalators to go down instead of like the stairs on the side of the parking garage, which would have like not been encapsulated, so you would be able to see outside, which is my big issue. And I'm like, how far is the walk to the escalators? I was asking all types of crazy questions.
And I was like, I was trying to be like supportive, and also like, well, how can I help you the best? And I was like, all right, me and Vanessa are going to go find an escalator. We'll get it sorted out. And eventually we did. And yeah, like you have a thing about escalators too. So that was a hurdle to get over.
But I just didn't look most of the time, and then it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, so eventually we finally made our way down all the escalators, which I will give you, they are very fucking high. And even for somebody that's like not really scared of heights in that way, I was like, man, this is kind of a trip. You're going down an escalator basically on the side of a mountain.
Yeah.
With all these people. So I can see where the anxiety comes from.
It was wild, because those escalators, it's not like a normal escalator. It is, it's like Inception type elevators. Because like you're like, if you do look up the whole time, it does feel like you're kind of like adjacent, and you're kind of like almost tipping over. But if that was by far not the worst, not my worst work.
Well, eventually we made our way down. Thankfully, you had the fast passes. If you ever do Universal Studios, get the fast pass. That's the only way. Otherwise, you'll be waiting for like 2 hours as opposed to maybe 20 minutes tops to go through a maze that may or may not be good. I mean,
And
most
it'll
of
only
them were
be like 3.5 minutes or less.
Yeah. I mean, most of the mazes were really well done, especially like the production value of everything, the amount of detail that goes into the sets. And
Yeah.
I gotta say,
what was your favorite one?
you know what? Maybe it's because it was the first one we went through, but I think The Exorcist Believer might have been the best maze.
I would agree with you. That was my favorite one.
And we're going to hold our thoughts on the movie, right, Doug? Because we're going to do a whole other episode about it.
Yep, not saying a word. Not saying a word, keeping it to myself. We spoke about it a little bit.
It'll be a somewhat divisive episode. Well, just a little soundbite here. I didn't think it was as bad as people wanted it to be, or as some people are saying that it is. Doug fucking flat out hated it.
I hated it just because I will say this one little thing. I just hated it because it was so unnecessary.
That I'll agree with. Yeah.
Because it didn't add anything. Okay, I'm going to go on a tangent, so I want to stop now.
Okay.
I have to stop. Self-control, baby.
Yeah, and I texted you afterwards. I was like, I didn't hate it. I mean,
And I don't fault you for it because
it's not amazing or anything, but
Exactly.
it wasn't the shit show I was expecting.
no, it wasn't like. I mean, that's the thing. It wasn't like Halloween Ends level bad,
No.
but it was just it was a retread of Halloween Ends, kind of.
Sort
Just,
of. Yeah.
It said The Exorcist in it, and 2 girls were possessed instead of 1, and Pazuzu wasn't named, even though he's back in action. But like, where are the stakes? Sorry,
Hey, everybody! It's about community. We just all got to come together.
they're
Evil
all
dies
saying their
tonight.
different prayers. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
All right, and that's our sneak preview of The Exorcist.
I
But
choose you, Kimberly. Or, shut up. Hacky, that dude can't. I stick to comedy.
all right, but the maze at Universal Studios was pretty good.
So much better than the movie.
Yeah. Was that the maze where there was one point where I legitimately I was like, fuck, you got me. Like, it scared the shit out of me.
So, actually, I do have it on video of the 2 times that got you. It wasn't in the Exorcist maze. There was one cool little like optical illusion trick in the Exorcist maze though that was really cool. Like it looked like the actors were like walking in this big glass room, and then the lights flickered off, and it was just like the wall.
Yeah, that
So
was
it was
cool.
like some kind of projector trick. It looked really real.
Yeah, it was badass.
Very realistic. And yeah, just the way they jumped out in that maze, I think things were placed like very well, and the actors were placed at certain points. And we went through that maze pretty fast just because, I mean, we didn't really know how to walk through a maze like that, but eventually we like slowed up and like, because people were getting scared. Like we saw people get scared and we were like right behind them, so we didn't get the scare.
Right.
So then like Phil was like slowly crip walking through the maze, and we were right behind him on tippy toes. But the maze where you got freaked out the first time was that like Holidays of Horror maze.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
They got freaked out by the bunny.
Yeah, they have like that's right, because I was like turning around to say something to you, and as soon as I turned back around, he was like, "Bam!" I was like, "Fuck!"
You were throwing your hands up like your fucking football team made a bad play, and you threw down the playbook. You're like, "Oh, I'm done."
Yeah, and in the Chucky maze, which had the longest line. I mean, we had fast pass, and we had to have stood there for like an hour.
It felt that way. It felt like we were in fucking quicksand.
Yeah, and we were very tired because this was the second night, and this was one of the last mazes that we did. And yeah. So while we were in line, we were like, do you think, is Child's Play the most overrated franchise of all time? I think we were like, yeah, kind of.
Out of all the horror icons,
If you compare popularity to substance, I would say, yeah.
Child's Play is definitely the franchise that went off the rails the quickest.
Yeah, I still haven't watched the new season.
Yeah, I don't know where this and people really are ride or die for Chuck,
Yeah.
which is fine. Like everyone has their favorite horror icons and stuff like that. People like resonate with his like menacing type of personality. I just never connected with it that much. I like the first 3 movies, but like if you put them up against like see the first 3 Texas Chainsaws or the first 3 Halloweens, I'll pick all those over the first 3 Child Plays.
Yeah. But the maze was okay.
Phil got that mean 18-inch squirt right in the eyeball.
Yeah, so at one point, a Chucky, one of many Chuckies, pops out and squirts water, and
Which Phil did not know.
I don't know if it's intended to like you just get a little bit of water on you, but I saw Chucky come out and just a jet of water hit me right in the eyeballs, like right in the face.
But you're not mentioning one thing. You were filming it. You had your phone up, like literally right, like point, like down the barrel of it. You're like, oh shit, Chucky, and got straight up sprayed.
Yeah, I gotta find that video.
Yeah, you must have it because you probably screamed bloody murder. And then that line, there was you see some wild shit at Halloween Horror Nights. Some dude ordered his girlfriend to give him like a full on back massage. They were like sucking face right on the line in front of everybody, which PDA is fine, but this dude was like, I thought they were about to just start fucking right there.
Yeah, I gotta say, yes. A little bit of PDA is fine. Quick kiss on the lips, that type of thing. But, dude, I went to see The Midnight last night in concert. Fucking amazing, by the way. But 3 feet in front of us, the entire time during the opening band, there was this couple that she was faced away from the stage, just looking in his eyes the entire time. And they just kept kissing and like slow dancing. I'm like, guys, I didn't say this, but I was like, come on. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
They were really feeling their emotions. That could have been like a first anniversary type of slow dance. Like, this is where we met. I love you so much.
They were a very young couple. So I don't know.
Oh, so they broke up that night for sure.
Probably.
Someone got too wasted.
But hey, good for them. Don't make out for an hour straight in front of people or get your back scratched in line waiting to go see the Chucky maze. This
dude was getting a full-on hand and stone massage. She was breaking out like hot coals, ready to step on his back. I did get a Kit Kat on that line too.
That's true. I was like, where the fuck is Doug? Yeah.
There was like a stand right in the line. I was starving. I needed something. I just reached over and paid for a Kit Kat. Luckily, they were pretty nice. They are all the employees aren't like rude at all. Like everyone's very like cordial there and very nice. I will say that about the entire staff. Like they weren't yelling at people. Like they were being like firm because people were fucking just losing their minds.
Right.
And I had nowhere to go. But like I had no one on the staff was like an asshole to anybody. I think kind of what makes it one of the most magical places on earth. A lot of wheelchairs there too.
Yeah, a lot of people that didn't really need them, they're just like, I don't feel like walking.
Actually, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Have someone wheel them through the fucking... You know what? Another one of my favorite parts of Universal was that trolley tour.
Oh, yeah.
That was extremely fun with the whole, like, there was like this original like bug theme. And there was just one character. Do you remember his name? Because
I forgot his name. He was very Beetlejuice-esque.
Yeah.
He was like the main character of this part of the theme park that they turned into this sort of
like exterminating people, but the bugs were taking over.
Yeah.
And they were like exterminating humans. And how humans are the worst thing on the face of the earth, which true. But it was awesome. They had you walk through like that one little motel portion, and there was like goop all on the ground, and then everyone started to run out all those bugs. That was really cool. Felt like The Fly.
Yeah, the production level on those things are just insane. Like the level of detail that goes into all of it.
Yeah, and when we walked past the that real life plane that was used for War of the Worlds, the one with Tom Cruise in 2005, that was, I mean, and you're talking to, I mean, this was Phil's first time at Universal, right?
Yes.
My first time at Universal. It literally felt like, and we love movies. I was just astounded that we were basically walking on like a movie set. Like it was like a real life, they explained to us as a real life plane. There were cars flipped over. There was dubstep music playing for some reason.
Yeah, everywhere you went, early 2010s dubstep style music playing.
Yeah, it was like David Draymond had like his whole like he was working on the playlist.
We did hear plenty of David Draymond over the course of the trip.
And we did, yes. Dave Matthews and Disturbed.
Yeah. Disturbed Matthews Band, yes.
The David Draymond Band. Switching over to smooth jazz. But yeah, walking on that walking past that real life plane was really cool to see. And still, like, it's amazing how they film that. I mean, that's so important for actors to see the actual thing rather than like a green screen, and just to see it out of context, like not in the movie, was pretty wild. And then we saw the original house from Psycho.
Oh yeah, shit. Forgot about that.
And yeah, we took a whole, I mean, the house looks so creepy.
Yeah.
And it still has like the really like, you know, that like weeping willow sort of tree on the side, and
you have like a silhouette of his mom in the window.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And it's the same house. Like they took it from the original location, planted it here, which is rad. We got an awesome picture in front of it.
Yeah, with Norman Bates.
The real life Norman Bates.
Guy playing Norman Bates. Great picture.
Yeah, solid job. Did a great job reenacting the Psycho kill.
Whenever I see those types of actors at a theme park, I just want to like pick their brain and be like, are you enjoying this? Because, I mean, he seemed like he really was.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the times for those actors, it's like a means to something else. Like this is them getting their foot in the door. They want to be on Broadway or be an actor, and
right.
It's a lot of practice.
Sure.
They're probably working on the character all day. I mean, I can't imagine working at Universal like a straight up 8-hour shift. I would need to like rectally take 8 Tylenols. Like just to work through the bloodstream quicker. It's so much noise.
Yeah, or like the scare actors. Imagine hearing the same audio sound loop over and over.
You turn to me and said, you're like, they have to say this every 30 seconds for hours.
Yeah, or I wonder if they like trade off shifts. If they have like, okay, send in Becky, it's her shift.
Yeah, tag them in.
Yeah. I can't imagine it's the same person doing the same thing over and over.
No. I could imagine that they have like a casting process where they have people look exactly like each other or sort of like the character, and they just kind of cycle in and out.
Right. Yeah. Oh, and we walked onto the set of Nope. That was surreal. Fucking awesome.
It was incredible because me and Vanessa hung back to like just take pictures. First of all, it was like the whole set of Nope, like Phil said, and they had the
it was Jupiter's Ranch, like the actual set from the movie.
Yep, the whole ranch. They had the big blow up of Steven Yeun's character, Jupe. And they had people, they had the actors dress up in the red jumpsuits from Us as well, walking around with scissors and getting in people's faces. And me and Vanessa were hanging back, and I think you were a little bit ahead, Phil.
Yeah.
And at one point, like, everyone walked through, and it was just us, pun intended. Me, you, and Vanessa, and it felt too real.
Yeah.
Because it was so quiet, and they kept on telling us to fucking move, but we were like, all right, relax. We're getting the full experience here.
Yeah, then some guy with a walkie-talkie was like, all right, keep moving.
Yeah, come on.
And you're like 30 feet behind, just like, oh, I want to get a picture in front of this.
I was around taking pictures of the fucking sky. But yeah, they really put, I mean, Nope was such a good movie, and it was insane to be on the actual set. And it was very ominous.
Yeah. Yeah, for a minute there, I was like, am I supposed to be here? Because the rest of the group had left. And some of these actors are just sort of staring at me like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, either in character or not. They're like, you gotta go. And then what else happened during the trolley tour? I'm trying to recall it. It was the War of the Worlds. It was the bug stuff. It was the Psycho stuff. Nope. And then I think that might have been it, because it was a whole lot of walking.
Yeah.
For the trolley stuff. And then, and then the other mazes that we did, we also walked through
Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah, before Evil Dead Rise, which was I like that one a lot too. We walked through the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Dude, that ride, or actually that entire village they have there is, I mean,
phenomenal.
Yeah, it's like a movie set. So
it was, and Vanessa and Phil went into the castle to do the ride. I opted out of that one, and all the other rides.
Yeah,
that didn't include just walking.
I was about to say what, like, yeah, I sat that one out. I was like, wait, which ride?
I was too much of a bitch for the Simpsons ride.
Hey, I do have to say you made the right call, because those are like motion rides, so you're just in a seat the entire time. But visually, there's times where, like, oh, they drive the car off a building and it tips forward, and it's like, I remember thinking, oh man, I'm glad Doug sat this out, because he'd be freaking out right now.
If you thought I was neurotic before, I would fucking get up and start kicking the fake car. But no, that whole, like, and the castle from Harry Potter is to scale. Like, I've never, like, you live in Raleigh, you live in a city, I live near New York City. We're used to big buildings. It's not like we're coming from, like, North Dakota and we're like, what are tall buildings? But, like, holy fuck. Like, it's like you said, it's like walking through the movie set, and it is not like any other building. It is a legit castle that you've seen in movies, and it's just wild to see up close and personal.
Yeah. Well, I thought I
never even seen Harry Potter, and I was amazed.
Me neither. Maybe I should watch them. I don't know.
You and Ashley got to have that the HP marathon.
I mean, not because, like, you know, I'm too good for Harry Potter. It's never caught my attention. I'm like, should I watch them? Are they good? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a magical wizard type of person either.
Right.
The wizardry just never, like, caught me. Same thing with Lord of the Rings. I would watch Harry Potter over Lord of the Rings. Harry Potter seems like it's a lot of... Lord of the Rings seems like it's more Game of Thrones-ish. And I don't like Game of Thrones. Harry Potter seems a little more whimsical and fun, and you have some darkness to it. With Snape, Severus Snape.
Should we go ahead and get to H45?
Let's see what else. If we're going day by day. Before Universal, we did stop at a bunch of really rad places like Mystic Museum.
Oh yeah.
Check that out, which is always fun. I went there once in 2021. This was your first time. What was your favorite part about that?
Probably the actual museum where you walk onto these different little sets from various movies that they have dressed up, and they have actual props from certain movies. Like they had a little American Psycho section with a couch and a nail gun, and they're playing Huey Lewis in the News. Yeah, it was really cool. I love that place.
Yeah, it was. Burbank is such like a fun. It seems like it's a very cool place. If you're at least moving from the East Coast, that's like the most East Coast place in LA, to at least from what I experienced. There's just like you could walk to every shop. Mystic Museum is like, I feel like if we lived there, that would be the spot to just go to. And like we went to a couple of vintage costume shops that were around there. They had like Kirsten Dunst's costume from Bring It On displayed. They had some they had the screen worn Ghostface, one of those costumes up on the wall. We also went to Be Kind Video. Shout out to the homie Matt's Mortuary from Be Kind Video, because he had the bangers. One of the
you got some tapes while you were there.
Yeah, I got some Slaughterhouse Rock. I got Ticks. I bought Drive-In Massacre for Holly. But it was just a cool vibe in there. And like what they're doing over there, I mean, Matt is a really cool dude. Really good dude.
I feel bad that I didn't talk to him, but that was around the time that I thought I was starting to get sick.
Yeah.
So like when we walked in there, like my throat was a little scratchy. Maybe it was from sleeping outside for the first time in a while.
Not getting enough sleep.
Yeah, not getting enough sleep. Maybe I actually was getting a little sick, but for some reason, once we walked in there, I just felt a cold sweat down my back, and I was like, dude, I gotta go outside. I gotta sit down. So
yeah, and I didn't even think I was gonna see. I felt bad because I didn't know where you were. I didn't want you to die in the sunlight, but I was like, shit. But I was talking to him for a little bit, and I told him you weren't feeling well, so we had to skedaddle. But you saw him at the con and everything. But if you are in Burbank and you're looking for tapes, Be Kind is the place to go. Super cool setup, very cozy, very nostalgic of the 80s.
Yeah, it was definitely a cool little spot.
Yeah. And then we also went another day. We went to those, which honestly wasn't that impressive. Rather than like Mystic Museum is a very specifically horror, like niche spot. They have like a lot of cool, unique things in there. Be Kind, obviously very unique. Halloween Town and the two shops that we went to. They have two locations. There was the costume shop and the other shop.
Yeah, but I mean, we were saying like, there's not much in here I couldn't just get from Trick or Treat Studios. I mean, it was cool to look at with a wall of masks and stuff, but yeah, I didn't buy anything.
Yeah, like awesome to see in person. I love seeing every single mask that Trick or Treat Studios has to offer on the wall.
Yeah,
rather than like, you know, shitty Party City costumes. And then see what else they had. They had cool displays and stuff like that, and a lot of cool like witchcraft stuff. But yeah, it was very overwhelming to see like all the stuff right in front of our faces. But yeah, that was that day. And yeah, the Saw we took the best picture ever in the Saw exhibit in the back of Mystic Museum.
Yeah,
hands down best picture of the whole trip. So
the guy did say don't sit on the toilet, but I didn't. I was hovering. So
cheeks weren't hitting the porcelain at all.
No, they were not. I should have really committed and just pulled the pants down and really gone for it. But
that's what I was hoping. I really wish we would have done it. I don't know if there's a camera back there due to privacy laws, but like,
yeah, I didn't want to disrespect the fine people at Mystic Museum. Everybody that worked there was so nice, and
yeah, they were very kind.
Yeah, I don't want to be a dick, and also, no, that's just I'm not going to do that.
We already got that. Just the framing of that picture. I just love the framing of you taking a dump on John Kramer's body to the left, and good old Billy the Puppet on the right. Perfect, very symmetrical picture. With
the game over sign right above it.
It was too perfect. I saw that and I was like, you got to go back, because we took a couple of pictures. I couldn't help but not be a full-blown Doris. I was like, I was just taking pictures all over the place.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to age 45, because I almost brought up the picture of the trip.
We're gonna get to the con first before the filming locations.
Oh, okay. Well, we can do either one.
What? All right, go. Yeah, let's talk about. I'm pretty sure people are listening for the actual con as well, so let's get into that.
So yeah, we can do the first thing we. Yeah, I was like, okay, well, we gotta get to the juicy stuff. The first thing we did was go to the Myers house.
Yeah, that's right. Went to Sugarmint Gallery, right next door. They got Mikey's house right there next to the train tracks, and in all of its glory, it was just beautiful to see.
Yeah, it was. And of course, diagonally across from the Myers house, you had the hardware store. And I remember when I was having a coffee at that intersection, you were eating the sandwich, and I had a full view of the hardware store and the Myers house while I'm sitting there enjoying my coffee. And I just had like this, I don't know, just a moment where I was looking at the hardware store, like picturing John Carpenter and Dean Cundey and Donald Pleasance off to the side, looking over his script, and Charles Cyphers. And I was like, fuck, can you imagine being right here 45 years ago, seeing that little film crew setting up that shot? It was just crazy to be there in person.
Yeah, especially at that time too. 45 years is a long time for something to be still so relevant. Not even only to the horror genre, but the movie genre. Like, John Carpenter really set the precedent for how to film like a slasher movie. He is like the tropes that are known today. He is the creator, or one of the creators of what you usually see in horror movies. How he uses shadow and light and all that stuff. And yeah, it was. I did look over at one point when we were walking through. We were walking to where they shot like Haddonfield, and you were just so joyfully walking and stepping. I was like, yeah.
Wait, what? You said where they shot Haddonfield? What do you
like the Wallace house and
right, yeah,
like all that stuff. And we were like actually walking through like where Laurie Strode was walking and stuff like that. You were like, just had a pep in your step. It was good to see.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah. So when we were at the Wallace and Doyle house where the finale of the film takes place, yeah, I mean, it was just surreal being there and seeing. I was kind of thrown off by how close those two houses were. Because anytime I watch Halloween, I feel like the camera makes it look so far away, but it's like, boom, right there. That's where fucking Nick Castle walked in 1978.
We have the video of the walk.
Curtis. Oh, that's right. I don't want to see that cringy shit.
That's just for your personal record.
Yeah, that's for me.
No one else is seeing that. It's on my phone. I'm pretty sure I sent it to you. But yeah, it is wild to think that. And we were hitting, when we were riding through Pasadena, we were just hitting film location after film location. We saw the Nightmare on Elm Street house near Hollywood. We saw the Strode house. We saw the Wallace house. And just like knowing Robert Englund and like Heather Langenkamp and Wes Craven were like in that spot years and years ago. Like, it's just insane seeing like being inside the piece of history that like we have known and watched for years.
Yeah, and what the fuck? Why would you change the color of the door of the Elm Street house? That's just being salty.
Dude, some dude rode past us on a bike and he was like, "Sucks they changed the color of the door, right?" And we're like, "Yeah, it does suck." Everyone in the neighborhood, and it was awesome. Everyone in the neighborhood, like, they know the history behind these houses, so they don't really pay any mind when people are like standing in front of them and just loitering.
Right.
Because we were when we went to go see The Hedge, we saw this one guy who literally looked like an IT guy. Like, I thought he was going to fix the next door neighbor's like cable or something.
Right.
And he went to go take a picture of the hedge, and we're like, oh, like you're here for the con and stuff like that. So it was super cool to see people like taking pictures of this stuff. And
yeah, we saw the famous hedge that Michael stepped behind. It's pretty awesome to finally see that in person.
Yeah, it's still the same hedge.
Still the same hedge. What was your favorite location?
Oh man, that is so tough. I think I'm going to say, the Wallace house, because I don't know. It was such a memorable moment because the house is vacant. Right. And we decided to go back there at night after a fine pasta dinner with our lovely friends that we met up with. We went to the kitchen. We went with Vanessa. We finally met our good friend Yaz for the first time, who is the biggest sweetheart of all time. She's the fucking best.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's great. And our friend Eric, who is just as awesome. Super cool dude. And we all went out. We had dinner in Pasadena. And then Phil was like, I kind of want to go. You kind of wanted to go back there at night to actually get the feel of what it was like to walk through Haddonfield in the dark.
Yeah, and I got to say, I'm glad we did that.
Yeah.
But first, before we went back to the Wallace and Doyle house, we went to the Halloween 2 alley.
Yes.
Because
didn't even know about it.
This was my favorite location. So we go to the Myers house, and if you don't know, the Halloween 2 alley, you know, from the start of the movie where Loomis is like, I shot him 6 times, and Michael's walking through the alley, that's directly behind the Myers house. And I knew that in the back of my mind, but I just completely forgot, like, oh, I should hit up some Halloween 2 locations while I'm here. So we couldn't find parking at the Myers house. So I was like, well, let me pull into this driveway real quick. I'll circle back around. I pull into this alley, and soon as I make the turn, I'm like, holy shit. That's the Halloween 2 alley, right? And I looked up the location really quick, and I was like, yeah, that's it right there. It was crazy how it still looked the same, like just the way the buildings looked. I was like, I've seen this alley somewhere before.
Yeah, it wasn't even like modernized too much. Like it still looked very like rural, kind of like how Haddonfield looked. Like the fences looked the same, the gravel looked the same, the trees were still pointing in the directions that it was 45 years earlier, which is what nature's wild.
Yeah, and then you have the Elrod house at the end of the alley. So that was just an added bonus. But we went back to that one at night after dinner, which totally added to the ambiance. And
it was nice and crisp in the air. It wasn't too boiling hot. Literally felt like we were walking around there during Halloween. And they had this, in the alleyway, it had this nice green glow to it from the lights, and it kind of looked like the Halloween 2 VHS cover. One of them.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the basketball goal.
Oh yeah, there was a little like a little child's basketball hoop out near the alleyway, and we were just bullshitting.
Talking about like Michael dunking on Loomis.
You know, Mike. He got the Jordans on. He's crossing up Loomis. I dunked on him 6 times. He posterized me.
Snapping ankles out here.
Just has his balls right in Loomis's face.
He's breaking ankles in these streets. He's crossing them up.
He's giving Laurie Strode that layup. Hit him with the pick. Pick and roll, Mikey. Pick and roll.
So we saw the Halloween 2 alley. Then we went back to the Wallace and Doyle house at night. That was really awesome. And I guess nobody was home at the Doyle house. It looked very vacant. And after standing there for a while, we were like, dude, we got to go up to the porch and get a picture. So eventually we just hopped over the bush and walked up to the doorstep.
I laid on the ground.
He laid on the ground where Michael gets shot and falls out of the window.
It was too
Doug-
epic of a photo opportunity to pass up.
Doug laid in that exact same spot, and he farted at one point.
I tried getting up like the Undertaker, and my asshole just ripped. It's like California pasta. It just fell out.
So every time I watch Halloween now and I see that part and be like, Doug farted right there. That's pretty cool.
That patch of grass right there, flatulence from my butthole is there.
Do you think you're the first person to fart where Michael Myers fell?
No. Guaranteed Nick Castle was laying bombs.
Oh, well, since filming
then?
Halloween.
If there were kids in that house, there was probably a kid who shit his pants right in that spot, just playing on the lawn. I guarantee I'm not the first one. I might be the last one, though.
I'm going to say you are.
I might be the last one to do it if that house gets demolished or someone else buys it and it's an uptight businessman who pretends women don't fart or something.
Well, they were doing some reconstruction to the side of the house. So they had a giant dumpster on the street. And I was like, how crazy would it be to take a piece of this wood from the original house?
I think you should have. If you didn't have to ship it back to North Carolina.
Yeah.
It would have been cool to have. Just like dangling from a piece of string in your living room.
If I was local and I had like a garage where I could just throw it somewhere, yeah, maybe I would. But
looks like we're going to have to move to California.
shit.
The first,
you gonna pay for that?
Yeah, if we got a house, let's go in.
Dude, house prices out there. Yeah, the price just laughs at you when you look at it. They're like,
just as bad as New York.
Ugh.
There's no point. But yeah, so that was the filming locations and stuff like that. I do want to talk about the Warner Brothers tour too, but let's get to the con first.
Oh, sure. The con was fucking great. I loved it. We got there Saturday. Extremely busy when they first opened. It was almost like, shit, this is too much. Is there too many people? I can't move. The lines are crazy.
Too much. Yeah, it was. We had to get on a line to get back on a line, which was kind of counterproductive. Instead of just like getting the bracelet and then going in, you had to pick up the bracelet first and then hop on the line. But the line went pretty quick. Once you were in, then you could explore. The convention center is pretty gigantic. It's just this huge building. Huge building.
It was a huge place. I walked in and I said, wow, what a huge building this is.
I've ever seen. The only place Michael Myers can be is in this huge convention center. Haven't seen any other convention center like it.
Make Haddonfield great again.
Make Mikey dunk on Loomis 6 times yet again.
Sheriff Brackett has got to go.
Worst police officer I've ever seen. Didn't even stop his daughter from smoking weed. She could have crashed. What are we doing?
I don't know. It's late. So yeah, we get into the convention. Who did you meet? Because I kind of forgot everybody that you met. You met some people that I didn't.
Yeah,
and vice versa.
Well, we were walking, so where they had some of the guests, it was like right through the doors of where you enter the convention building, right on like the carpeting and stuff. And I saw when I couldn't go to Carolina Fear Fest in May, Ken Forhey was going to be there, and I was super pumped. And he was at age 45, so he was the first person that I met. There was no one on his line, and I mean, between Death Spa, Texas Chainsaw 3, From Beyond, what?
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead. Fucking legendary actor, and I love him in everything. And he was such a cool dude. I thought he was going to squeeze my hand to death because he is a very big man.
Yeah.
But he was super cool, super chill. He was just sitting down in his chair like, what's going on, man? Didn't really, wasn't a huge talker, but he was very kind and super cool.
And we met Don Shanks with Yaz. We all got a picture with him.
Yep, that was really cool. Him and his orange body. Still looking real fit for his age.
Dude, I hope I'm in half as good a shape as him when I'm his age.
And mentally too. Like when he was talking in the panel, like he's just such a, I mean, again, I think stunt guys get like don't get enough credit, as he was saying, but like they really know what they're doing. And he was saying stuff that like really, and like he was part of the WGA and SAG-AFTRA and everything like that. And so he's dealing with the strike, I'm sure, and all them. But like hearing him talk about like the stunts and what they had to go through and like how they think about it and how they could just turn it on when he said, was he laying in like a freezing puddle or something like that? And he was like ice cold. And then when they called action, he just flipped the switch.
Right.
And it was on. But yeah, he was cool to meet. He really liked Yaz a whole lot. He almost ripped her arm off with that with that Cyclops grip.
Yeah, I don't think he meant to, but
that's just how he is, baby. He's from the 60s.
Yeah, he had his hand on her arm and squeezed the shit out of it. She was like, wow, he's really strong.
Yeah, some spray tan came off on her arm.
I kind of feel like Yaz helped. Okay, we got to talk about. I just got to get this out of
the elephant in the room here.
We got to talk about meeting John Carpenter. Let's go ahead and get to it.
All right.
Okay, because I keep thinking about it.
We got to get it out of the way.
Okay,
so this was with it up top.
This was day 2. It was like, I don't know, 3 in the afternoon or something, and for some reason you wanted to go get some food. I was like, all right.
Just took a dump. That's why I emptied out.
That's right. Doug took a shit. It took him 4 days to poop in LA, literally.
Yeah, so I needed to seize the opportunity. I really needed to go.
So Doug takes a shit. He's like, hey, I'm hungry. Let's go get some food. So we step out of the convention. We walk, 50 feet away from the convention. We're about to cross the street.
Hold on, before you get into it, I'm just going to add a little something. At this point, we knew John Carpenter was going to have a secret panel. They announced it on Facebook. Originally, it was just a rumor, so we were like, oh, now everybody knows.
Right.
And they started to line up like an hour and a half early for the panel. So we turn around before we cross the street and we look at the line. There's a VIP line for the panel and a regular line. So we look at this and we're like, fuck. Like, all right, like, let's go get food. And then, wherever we sit, we'll sit. Hopefully we get in there. But we're just like, we have to be in there. So I felt a little deflated in the air seeing that huge line. Okay, go ahead.
Huge. Okay. The line was huge.
What was the other word that you guys are making fun of me for?
I walked in. I said, wow, what a huge line this is.
Please don't compare me to that scumbag.
I think it was just that word, but feel free to make fun of me all you want. I can't talk for shit, so.
Yeah, what's the big deal?
Yeah, hey, dill is a dill. Okay, so we leave the convention. We're waiting to cross the street, and then a black Escalade pulls up like 20 feet away from us, and I see John Carpenter step out of the back of it, and I say to you guys, I'm like, all right, don't freak out, but John Carpenter is right over there. And we were like, holy shit. And it didn't even cross my mind to ask for a picture. I was like, this is cool enough. Hey, we saw him step out of the Escalade and walk in. Yeah.
We were losing control at just that point, at just seeing his feathery, like thinning, white hair coming out of the Escalade. We were like, wow, this is like John Carpenter in the flesh. This is already insane.
And then we had like a football huddle. We're like, all right, guys, bring it in. Okay, so here's the plan. But no, we were like, I think it was you or Yaz. You were like, we got to ask for a picture.
Yeah.
This is our only chance. We have to ask for a picture. And he comes walking by with his handler. And I think it was you or Yaz that asked for the picture.
Yaz was already on the ground. She was already not able to breathe.
So we asked for the picture, and John says, Sure, as long as you make it quick. And boom, snap like 5 pictures, rapid fire. Thank God nobody's eyes were closed.
It was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, even John was smiling in the picture. He never smiles in pictures.
No, not at all. He usually looks like he doesn't give a fuck about life at all. But mind you, we were like, I don't know, about like 15, 20 feet away from the convention center. Everyone is on the line and in the convention center. On that sidewalk, it was Phil, Yaz, me, and John Carpenter. Yeah. There was no one else in the vicinity. No one else. So it was a no-brainer to just, if he says no, he says no. But you have to take the shot. I went up to him and I was like, John, can we please get a picture? We love you. Like, keep it quick. And also, as me and Phil started walking up, John goes, I want her, to Yaz.
That's right. He did say that.
Which me and you were like, sure, yep, fine, we'll be in the picture. Hold on to her. Yaz was the lucky charm of that day. Because if it wasn't for Yaz, he would have looked at us two ugly ass white boys and would have been like, get that fuck out of my face. It wouldn't have, I don't think it would have went over that well if Yaz wasn't there.
Maybe
and Yaz
not.
knows how much we love her. She's the reason for that picture. I'm highly convinced. And then we all fell to the ground.
John Carpenter does have his hand around her shoulder in the picture.
Yep. He put those ghostly white fingers on her back.
So yeah, we take the picture. He walks away. We try to remain calm for 10 seconds. As soon as he gets out of like earshot away, we were like, holy fuck. Yaz collapses on the fucking ground. Like, just, it was crazy.
You never heard 3 people say, oh my God, 50 times in a millisecond, as quick as we did.
And look,
all we thought about. I didn't even give a fuck about the panel. I was like, we're done here. This is it. Nothing's going to top this.
And I usually don't get like, well, I don't meet a lot of celebrities. So yeah, starstruck. I usually don't get starstruck. But for certain people, John Carpenter being one of them, you can't help but be like, holy shit. That's John Carpenter right there. I mean, absolute legend.
Yeah. I mean, as many movies as he's made, he hasn't directed a movie in a really long time, and yet he still has the stature of being one of the most legendary filmmakers in Hollywood. I mean, he's worked with Kurt Russell numerous times. He's worked with Jamie Lee Curtis. He's worked with Jeff Bridges. He's worked with acclaimed actors. I mean, there's a reason why his movies are so relevant to this day and you still go back to them today and they hold up because he's a great filmmaker. His writing is great. He works with great writers as well. Cinematography in his movie, top notch. I mean, it was just insane being that close to him.
Yeah. And to get what, I wish my big dumb face wasn't so prevalent in the picture, but other than that, perfect fucking picture. Couldn't have asked for a better picture.
And I have my phone in my hand because I was getting ready to get my camera out, and you were like, already got it. As I went to go asking for a picture, you were already gearing up. So it was a team effort. He saw Yaz. You had I asked. You had the camera up. She was a woman. All the stars aligned.
But yeah, talk about right time, right place. I mean, couldn't have been better.
The domino effect of that moment happening was just wild.
And luck would have it, directly across the street, my friend Dave, that I haven't seen in like a year, who lives in LA, he was right across the street.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, Phil. And I was like, we just met John Carpenter. We just met John Carpenter.
He witnessed the whole interaction happening in cinematic vision. He saw us go apeshit over John Carpenter. We were on a high that entire day. After that, like, it was great. Like, the whole rest of the con was great beforehand. That was the second day. The first day, and if we're going back to the first day, because that John Carpenter moment was just monumentous. But we met a lot of people that we talked to on here, which I feel like we talk to a lot of people within the horror community, and we always talk movies, and I love talking about movies with everyone. So does Phil. We love just debates about whatever, and just like getting to know people like that on that type of level and seeing them in person is like next level cool. Anthony Brownlee, who we met up, who was like, I've been talking to him since 2020. Finally got to meet him in person. That was super cool. One of the coolest dudes.
Great dude. Former guest of the show. So.
Yes. On one of the best episodes that I think that we've done, the Nightmare on Elm Street ranking episode. That dude knows his Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, he's a Nightmare on Elm Street god. So
legit, yeah.
Very cool to meet him for the first time in person.
Hell yeah. And Morgan, who was also with him. No, Matthew. Sorry. I think his last name is Morgan. I'm getting confused. The dude that he was with, also super cool. Always talk movies with him. Who else? Chris Butler is also my dude. Unfortunately, he wasn't vending out there, but he also came from Massachusetts.
Yeah, and our friend Nice School.
Yeah.
On Instagram. Sorry, I suck with names. Nothing personal, but it was cool to finally meet her.
Yeah, she was cool. Jennifer, awesome. I think that was your first time meeting her. There were a couple people that like, Oscar. Oscar, super sweet.
Oh,
dude.
shit. Yeah, our buddy Oscar.
Yeah, he was the best.
Yeah, that was... I've never met somebody that was so grateful for the show like that.
That must have been... Yeah, it was wild.
I mean, it was pretty crazy. But yeah, thank you for the kind words.
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks for the kind words, Oscar. That meant a lot. I know you've been a listener for a long time, so we really appreciate it. And it was great to meet you. I'm sure we're gonna forget a lot of people, but
I'm trying to name all of them. Anthony, Matt, Jennifer, Cindy, Yaz, and Eric. We obviously named. Who else did we see over there?
So who else did you meet? Like as far as celebrities go.
So after Ken Forhey,
Tom Atkins.
Yes, we all stood online for him.
The H3 exclusive figure. Finally got my hands on one of those.
Which there was a line for even the figure as soon as we walked in.
Yeah.
We thought we weren't going to grab it. We thought we weren't going to get it at all.
Got him to sign that. And I was like, Tom, it's an absolute honor to meet you. Thank you for everything. That's all I said. I got a picture with him. It was very sweet. It was like taking a picture with your grandpa or something.
Yeah. He's just a sweet, cuddly old man.
Yeah, it was excellent.
And I like his publicist or manager or whatever who was operating the table. She was saying like, "Oh, don't take it personally if he doesn't like talk a lot. He can't hear. Like he has hearing aids and he's not great at hearing. So like, don't take it personally." But he asked everyone's name. You know, we just like you. I kept it short and sweet. I was like, "I love you and your movies. Thank you." And he was like, "What's your name?" Like he was just so considerate and kind, as you think Tom Atkins would be.
Of course.
Super sweet dude. It was awesome that we all got to like meet him one after the other. Then I think the next person after that. So it was Ken Forey, Don Shanks, Tom Atkins. I think you and Yaz went to go drop stuff off at the car, and I waited on that fateful line for Rohan Campbell.
Oh yeah, you got to talk about that.
I think that was the next in line.
So yeah, tell the story, Doug. You were you were quite flustered throughout the whole experience.
Ever since this was like we saw Rohan Campbell on the guest list for this con, and I was like, we have to meet him. Because we've thoroughly bashed Halloween Ends, the movie. Not necessarily him, but the writing is just, you know how we feel about Halloween Ends. If you listen to the show, even for a fucking 15-second period. But I wanted to meet him, and I was like, I think it would be funny if we all give him the middle finger, and I think it would be hilarious. And waited online, and he was hopping around the table, and just he seemed really cool. And I get up to him, and you and Yaz didn't want to do that. You were taking pictures and filming it.
Yeah, well, I would have felt bad if I didn't like pay for the autograph and all that for FaceTime with him. I didn't want to take up his time, so I was like, I'll just gladly sit back and watch Doug. I'll just watch this interaction go down. And we posted it to Instagram today if you want to see the whole thing.
Phil and Yaz both videoed it. It was couldn't have gone better, and I did take a regular picture with him first. I was like, hey, like, thank you for being here. Like, I asked him how his day was, like, how was this con experience? Because I'm sure he hasn't done many. And I was like, I just have a request. I think it'd be funny. You don't have to do it. I think it, and I told him, I'm like, you were really, and we were talking for a while before this, and he was he's just super sweet and really kind and very cool.
Very cool with everybody.
Yeah. And I was like, I think I love you. I almost professed my love for this man.
He is a handsome guy.
Yeah,
you see him in person, you're like, God damn it, look at that jawline.
You're like, wow, that's very chiseled. Like, it's very Johnny Bravo-esque, except way smarter. But I was like, would it be cool if I flip you off and you look disgusted? And immediately he's just like this. Like, he just immediately goes into character and was so down with it. And I'm like, I love you. Do you want to go to dinner right now? Like,
do you like pasta?
I'm like texting John, like, hey, do you mind leaving the house? I have a dinner date coming by. I'm gonna make a candlelit dinner for two. No, but he was just a really fucking cool guy.
Yeah, he was.
I never had a problem with Rohan Campbell. I just had a problem with the writing that he was given, and he did what he did.
You did say you were going to rewatch it, so are you going to do that? And
I think I liked Halloween Ends better than The Exorcist. Believe
that's yeah, sure. We'll talk about that on our episode.
But yeah, I will absolutely rewatch Halloween Ends. I rewatched Halloween 2018 3 times, unfortunately. But for Rohan Campbell, I will.
Yeah, I rewatched that on the plane ride home, 2018.
You really should have watched Malignant.
They didn't have it.
We also went to that house, by the way, too.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we went to the Malignant house.
Completely forgot about that. And Phil also looked disgusted while walking up to that lawn.
It was a beautiful house.
It's a very nice house. And it's funny because every other house on that block literally looked like Elon Musk owned it. It was very, like, saturated and gray. And then you have this creepy old witch house right next to it.
Yeah. Where every house is $2 million.
Yeah, definitely affordable for, less middle class people. But yeah, that was the Rohan Campbell interaction. It was super fun. Very nice guy. You met Nick Castle?
I met Nick Castle. I mean, I try to be respectful of their time, and because they have such a long line, I don't want to give them an ear beating, I was like, Nick, it's an honor to meet you. Huge fan. And I was like, I'm especially a huge fan of Dennis the Menace because he directed that. But I was like, I have to get a picture. Yeah, Halloween picture signed. He was like, yeah, well, you got to. It's Halloween, And yeah, that was kind of it. I got my picture with him.
No, if you're paying money and you're at that convention, and these guys are so grateful, I feel like Nick Castle is one of those guests that don't mind a conversation. There's people that come up with, this dude had a legit cart, like a shopping cart full of stuff. So if he's doing that and you're actually having a conversation with him, that's a different change of different change of pace for him to just talk about how many people bring up Dennis the Menace. Probably not that many.
Yeah, I should have asked some more questions about that, but I was a little starstruck. But yeah, speaking of those types of people that they have like an actual, it's like one of those carts you put beach chairs in to take down to the beach, just stocked full of merchandise to get signed. And you know that they're just going to sell that shit on eBay. It's just gross in my opinion.
Yeah, it's kind of grimy. They're just taking advantage of even like the toy makers and the figure makers and the people who actually like buy it, who want to love and cherish it and watch these things or display these things.
Well, the amount of the Halloween 3 figures that immediately went up on eBay, it's like, I can understand if you buy that and get it signed by Tom Atkins and maybe down the road you hit some hard times and you got to part with some stuff. I get it. Life happens. But to go out there solely just to buy that and throw it up on eBay 30 minutes after, just, I mean, you're free to do it.
Yeah.
That's your right, but it's just gives me the ick.
Also, for like a measly, like, granted it was $60. Yeah. And these people are reselling it for $300, $400. In the grand scheme of things, $400 is going to really get you nowhere.
Oh, sure.
Like, you know, if you were selling it for a couple thousand, like that could knock off some debt. But like, listen, $300, $400, it's not a small sum of money. I think it's a decent amount of money, but like, you're really not going to do anything with it. And granted,
I saw one of the signed ones go for like $600.
Really?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
I mean, hey, it's
autograph.
It is a free market, and if somebody is willing to pay that much, hey, whatever.
I feel sorry for those people paying that money because it is just it was limited to 1,000 copies for that figure, but like no figure or anything is worth that much money, especially that it wasn't meant to be. It literally was just being sold, and 2 seconds later it's on eBay. That's just, like you said, it's disgusting.
Yeah, a little gross. But enough of the negative. Let's see, who else did we meet? One of my highlights, Alan Howarth.
Yes.
Composer of many of the Halloween soundtracks, including Halloween 4, and I believe, yeah, he did 4, 5, and 6.
And
that
3.
I know of. That's right, yeah. Yeah, I told him, I was like, your opening score to Halloween 4 is one of my favorite themes of all time. And it's not, I was like, I love how just minimal and creepy it is. It's not trying too hard. It's just about setting the mood.
It's just like being.
Yeah, I was like, that's my favorite horror movie opening ever. Not just a Halloween series. And he told me a cool little fun fact that I didn't know. He said that sort of ambient sound that you hear during the Halloween 4 credits is the sound of a cymbal ringing out. And they took that sample and just sort of looped it. So it has this sort of oscillating effect. Like just, oh. I was like, I fucking love that.
It's pretty genius.
Yeah, I never knew that.
Like when you think about it. It's like I mean, composers are almost like Foley artists in a way where they take something that is not meant to be musical and they make it musical.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
And then I asked him about the Halloween.
I fucking asked this guy.
So I fucking asked this guy. I said, "Hey, Alan, how about this?" But no, I asked him about the. I asked him about the. I can't say that word anymore. About the Halloween 6 theme with the guitars, the whammy bar squills and stuff. He was like, "Yeah, I mean that's what they wanted for the theatrical cut." They were like, "Hey, we need something kind of modernized." This was 95, so grunge was big. So he was like, so I just picked up the guitar and I was like, I fucking love it. I know a lot of people shit on it, but I think it's just so out there that I love it. So
yeah, sometimes being different works, and instead of hitting the nostalgia factor, you know, now that's nostalgia for you since you love Halloween 6, but like think outside the box, do something different. You never know what can come of it.
Yeah.
I feel like there's always going to be people that like something. Everyone isn't always going to hate it. There's people that love Halloween Kills.
Yeah, that's true.
That is a fact.
And you're like, I'm not one of them, but there are people.
No, absolutely not. But yeah, you and Alan Howarth had a really lengthy conversation, which is really cool.
You remember how I was saying earlier, like I try to not talk their ear off and like kind of get in, get out. Like, hey, I just wanted to meet you. Have a good day. Thank you for everything. He was like, he just kept talking, and I was all about it. But I was like, okay, let's fucking talk. You want to talk? I'm down.
You want to fucking talk? Come fucking talk to me. Are you talking to me?
But yeah, I bought a Halloween 6 soundtrack CD.
Yeah, baby.
Got him to sign that. So
compact disc.
That's pretty awesome. I will cherish it forever. I will not put it on eBay.
Absolutely not. And
he was like, do you want your name on this or not? I was like, no, put my name on it, because I wanted him to know, like, I'm not just gonna sell this on eBay.
Yeah. What are you gonna sell the Halloween 6 CD for? $50? Fuck out of here.
Hey, it's priceless.
That's right. That's why your fucking name is on it. Let's see who else. Who else? Really awesome moments. Since Yaz is not here to talk about it, we will talk about it.
We should have brought her on.
I know. I told her. I'm like, hey, we could, if you want to, like, we could, have you on for the next episode. We'll have to airdrop a different segment and just have her talk about it. But no, we did meet some people from Halloween 4. Kathleen Turner.
Nope. Kathleen Kinmont.
Kathleen,
You're thinking Kathleen Turner is like this other actress. I think she was
What the fuck am I thinking of?
I think she was in Serial Mom. Is that her?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I might be wrong about that as well. But
I'm gonna, yeah. And what's the other name? Because I'm gonna butcher that guy's name.
Sasha Jensen.
There you go. Okay.
Brady from Halloween 4 and Kelly Meeker from Halloween 4.
Yes. So we were on the line. So the first day, Yaz she wanted to meet Kathleen and get her Halloween 4 tape signed.
Yeah.
She accidentally brought Halloween 5 and was like, fuck.
Well, we were at Tom Morgan's table who did stunts in Halloween 4. She was like, I really want Tom to sign this, and she had Halloween 5 in her hand. I was like, thankfully I'm a Halloween nerd, and I was like, wait, he did stunts in Halloween 4. Why do you have Halloween 5? She was like, oh shit, I brought the wrong tape.
Yeah, that's right. We were on the line. She was like, wait, I have to get off this line. So the next
she got Don Shanks to sign it though. I think.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And he was a really cool dude. We only talked to him for that was a short conversation, kind of 2-minute thing. And then after the Halloween 4 and 5 panel, so Kathleen said she needed to catch a flight. So we were like, all right, let's go over there real quick and get this picture and get this autograph and get it done. And so we were online for Sasha. And well, at first we were online for Kathleen, and this guy standing next to the table, he was like, hey, this is I'm the last person Kathleen needs to catch a flight. This is it. And I was like, there's no one else here. Like, really?
Yeah. We thought he was like, I don't know, a handler or an assistant.
Someone who works for the con or something.
Yeah. He was just a guy.
Just some fucking random guy. Because when we were on, so the whole time we were on the line for Sasha, me and Phil kept looking over. We're like, all right, Yaz really wants this autograph and this picture. Like, fuck this guy. Like, I thought we still thought that he worked there, but we were like, all right, let's just like, it's going to take 2 seconds. And I made it a point as soon as the person left, I turned to Kathleen and I was like, hey, my friend Yaz over here really wants to meet you. Do you have time for one more person? And she's like, of course I do. And then I realized that guy wasn't even there, and he walked away. He just wanted to be the last person in line to get the most time out of it. It was really weird.
It was.
He wasn't even there.
It was very incel neckbeard energy going on. Like, oh, Kathleen, I just want all the time with you. Oh, she's busy. She can't see you. It's like,
and he had the balls to say that to us, and then he didn't even have the balls to meet her. Because he didn't go after us.
It was very bizarre.
Yeah, definitely had his initials written on the inside of his underwear, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but Yaz did meet Kathleen. She was so sweet. Like,
Yeah.
just, yeah, I just watched their interaction go down. I was like, I don't even need to meet her. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
she was
the
great.
best.
It
Very
was
sweet.
really cool talking with Sasha Jensen from Halloween 4. It's a real chill dude. Also from Dazed and Confused.
And Ghoulies too,
Yeah.
which it was a really cool moment. Yaz mentioned Ghoulies too, and he went like, he like took a step back. He was like, "You like Ghoulies too?" She was like, "It's my favorite movie." Like, yeah. It's like he never even heard of this movie that he's in, and he never. I don't think he's seen it. He said, right? He's like, "I never saw it."
Yeah, I think so. And then he called one of the
Like the main actor from Ghoulies too FaceTimed him.
FaceTimed him.
Yeah,
And was like, hey, somebody wants to talk to you.
And so, yeah, we caught that interaction. So Yaz was FaceTiming one of the actors from her favorite movies, which was really fucking cool. And Sasha was really cool. He was talking about how he's talking about Vermont and living in upstate New York and being out on the West Coast, and just like a real regular dude.
Yeah, I got him to sign an 8x10 from Halloween 4 from the scene where he's fighting with George Wilbur at the top of the stairs. And during the panel, he was talking about how his dad was a stuntman. So apparently George Wilbur knew Sasha as a kid because they were in the business together. So
yeah, that was cool.
It was just cool hearing those like behind the scenes stories, and really made me miss George Wilbur. That was like,
did you ever meet him?
No, but that was top of my list. Like, I really want to meet George Wilbur one day, but unfortunately he passed away last year.
And he did a lot of cons.
I know.
He was known for doing a lot of cons, so guarantee he would have been in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, those panels were really, really interesting. I love them. There's this other little tidbit that Don Shanks was talking about in Halloween 5, I believe, where Jamie's friend, I forgot his name, is running from the car that's chasing him.
Oh,
and it's actually like a mirror image. Like they filmed it with a mirror because they didn't want to actually like. Well, at first they wanted to run over the kid, and they were like, "No."
Yeah, Billy.
Yeah,
Jeffrey Landman, aka Billy.
Billy. And then, yeah, so like if you watch the movie, it's like a mirror image of him running away, but it looks like he's running from the car. There's something I never realized, but I was like, oh wow, like just.
Well, at one point in the movie, the image of Michael is flipped, so it looks like he's in Europe driving.
Yeah, that's right. He's in the passenger seat rather than the driver's seat.
Which
looks like.
I did notice that over the many years of watching that movie. Like, that's odd.
Yeah, little flub, little film error.
Yeah,
I had it on the other night and I didn't finish it. I still have it on my dresser, so I need to continue watching it. But that's one I want to look out for.
I think that was about all the people I met. I mean,
I'm gonna look at my list here.
Of course, there were a lot more people I wanted to meet. James Jude Courtney, Dick Warlock, but it was just a matter of time and mostly money, because holy shit did I spend a lot of money at this convention just on merchandise and posters and I mean, but
a lot of cool exclusive stuff. Fright Rags had a lot of cool like Halloween mixed with Goosebumps type of shirts. You guys got some rad cups.
Yeah, I got all those, all the exclusive cups, and got this sick shirt from Sacred Bones, music by John Carpenter.
And what a perfect day to wear it.
That's right.
H45 episode. Yeah, they had a lot of cool vendors there. I felt like we spent the most money going to Mel's Diner.
Yes. I think I ate there 4 times. It was my my breakfast in LA before I had to go catch my flight back home. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going back to Mel's.
Yeah, you need to. That's the
I
spot.
got
That spot was so good.
the pin right here.
Yeah, baby.
Mel's Diner.
That is so rad. But yeah, they had. I mean, we tried to eat as healthy as we could. I feel like,
Yeah, we did all right.
but there was one day where we just ate like shit, and we were like, we need to. Oh, not Halloween related, but we also, as 40-year-old Virgin fans, visited
fuck.
Smart Tech,
Yes.
where they filmed, where Steve Carell works in the movie, and right across the street they actually had like the eBay store where Catherine Keener works. Which is
Yeah,
now
and then
called
we
You Nailed It. Or like
yeah,
a
we
nail
found
salon.
the bookstore where God, what's her name? Elizabeth Banks works.
Yeah.
Found that. We found the little alleyway behind the store where Paul Rudd is chasing Steve Carell. Andy, nobody cares that you're a virgin. Found that spot.
Yeah, Phil took a picture near the loading dock where they're talking about the Greek goddess Pusaliah. And they're breaking lights on the ground. That was in Encino. I forgot where we went. Oh my god, those cookies, man! That milk jar cookies. Whew.
Yeah, that was good.
I will come for those cookies at any point. Let's see. That definitely takes care of a lot. Do you want to talk about the Warner Brothers tour at all?
Sure. We probably got to wrap it up. I've been like sort of fighting a cold.
God damn you.
No, like I'm super congested today, so that's why I apologize for clearing my throat 30 fucking times during this episode, but I've been drinking tea and trying to get over something. So
I feel you're like Cameron from Ferris Bueller. You think you want to be sick, but you're not sick.
No, I promise. I've been like clearing my throat this whole fucking time, and yeah.
All right, at least we didn't catch anything on the way back. I was kind of hoping that we didn't, like, being in close quarters with all those disgusting humans at Universal and Warner Brothers and the airports.
I think maybe is it possible to, like, say you're traveling, like maybe you don't get the flu, but you get like a diet version of the flu, like the Dr. Pepper 10 calorie. It's not full calorie, but you get a little something. Is that a thing?
I feel like it is. Like, you could feel run down because we definitely moved around a whole lot, so you could just feel like completely out of it.
Yeah, and dude, when I finally flew back home, which, by the way, my first night in my bed, I was like, oh man, this is gonna feel so good. I was like, it's so quiet in here. I can't hear the traffic of the 101 at night. I can't hear the birds and the fucking crickets chirping.
Look at you knowing all the names to the highway. Speaking of highway,
I took the 101 up to the 405, got off at Sepulveda.
Dude, you should just take the 10,
Sepulveda.
Sepultura Boulevard. Just take Sepultura Boulevard all the way up to Bird's Eye View, man. Laurel Canyon.
Get out of here.
You motherfuckers cannot drive in California.
Dude, I will never
having an aneurysm every 10 seconds.
I will never complain about Raleigh traffic ever again.
It was something to behold.
My favorite moment, this was the day after you left. Okay, I was going through a neighborhood. I was at a 4-way stop. 4 stop signs. I pull up to the stop sign. To the right, down the street, there's a car coming. I'm like, okay, I'm about to turn left, but of course they're going to stop because they have a stop sign.
Makes sense.
Nope. Just kept fucking going through the intersection, and I didn't even lay on my horn. I was just watching how shitty of a driver they are. I was just like, wow, holy fuck.
Oh,
what is with the drivers out here?
Seriously, every time we were on like the highway, or we were just looking in amazement at how people were operating their vehicles. They were braking, not putting on their blinker. Every time like you would hit the gas, you'd have to hit the brakes immediately because people just don't move. They just don't go.
If you buy a car in California, they take out the blinkers for you. They're like, you don't need these.
Everyone
Get
should
out
have
there.
like the rubber bumper. because you're gonna get into an accident. It's inevitable.
Yeah, so once I got back to Raleigh, even in like 5 o'clock traffic, I said, this isn't so bad.
Yeah, it feels normal. It feels good.
Yeah.
But yeah, one last thing before we start wrapping it up.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm sure we'll think of more shit to talk about throughout the next episodes, but
yeah,
my fucking throat is just like wearing down. So apologies, everybody.
You want to wrap it up now?
No. What were you about to say?
I was just gonna feel like we should say a little something about the Warner Brothers tour because that was really fucking cool.
All right, yeah, let's talk about it.
I mean, I don't know if anyone listening. This is like we're gonna sound really excited because we've never done this before. Being on like in a soundstage and being in those towns that like these super talented people build up just for these movies was just like a fucking trip. Like we had the best tour guide ever. Georgia, sweet old Georgia Brown,
sweet old Southern lady. She was great.
She was the best. Yeah, she was dry. Like we saw. I mean, sure, if anyone has had bad. I get that was an immediate brain fart.
My God. Malfunctioning over there?
Yeah, my tongue got tied. Like
you were like when the fembots and Austin Powers started malfunctioning, like smoke starts coming out.
I was thinking of Mike Myers and the British thong. So my head just started tweaking out. No, if anyone has been to Warner Brothers studio and on the tour, they would know. I don't know if it's the same stuff that they bring you through, but maybe it is. But they show you like all the Friends locations, all the Gilmore Girls locations. They show you all the stuff from like James Dean movies and how like every building is like made out of wood and it's not real. And it's just like, again, going back to the detail that like movie magic, magic is real.
There was a little bit of horror history, though. I mean, the church from the Lost Boys where the Frog Brothers fill up their canteens, that was that church was still there. The house from Gremlins.
Yeah, where the old lady on the wheelchair gets flung out the window, which also it was just crazy. I loved how everything they went through, like the towns and stuff like that. It all depend like. It's wild to go back and watch these movies and realize that it's the same set, but just used different times, different settings, different cities. And it's all about how they like dress it. It's just, and it doesn't even look like that. Like,
yeah, I think next time we should do the Universal tour because I mean, you could see like, one of the houses that was used for House of Thousand Corpses or, the Burbs. Like, that's the same neighborhood, I believe.
Oh, cool.
And it's, like, right down the street from the Munsters house. It's all in the same... It's, like, the same sort of thing. It's just a giant studio lot.
We got to do that. It's so worth the money, and it wasn't even that much. But it was just incredible, like...
Yeah, thanks to Vanessa for getting that local discount.
Hell yeah, baby. She has that parking pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and then they took us into the soundstage, and you realize just how like you don't know anything about how a movie is made because they have an abundant amount of lights, and they can make it look any time of day just with those lights inside, and you can't hear. You could mass murder people in that fucking soundstage, and no one will ever know. It is so quiet in that you can't even hear the highway. You can't hear anything. You can't hear the highway. And there's numerous sound stages on that lot, and it was wild to see it. Like, it would be so cool to like just like work in a fake city.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say spend the night there or something.
That too. I would love to. They had the. They took us past the New Line building.
Yeah, really where they had like all the Freddy and Jason stuff that we didn't get to see.
Yeah, would have loved. I would have loved to hop out and go back to that. And they also showed us one of the movie theaters with the big marquee in down one of the fake streets was using the House of Wax with Vincent Price.
Yeah,
which was awesome to hear. Like, just classic stuff like that. Like, this lot has been used for decades, and it's still being used today. It's just real crazy, the rich history that's there.
Yeah, and we nearly got kicked out at the very end of the Warner Brothers tour. So after Georgia dropped us off, she was like, okay, you can go in here, and that's where they have like the Batmobiles and all that kind of stuff. So Georgia said, bye. It's been great having y'all. Thank you, Georgia. So we go in. Yeah, we go inside and to this entire other part where they have all this Batman stuff and lots of action movie props and costumes. And at one point, Doug was like, wow, the Superman's crotch is like really, the thing's really bulging.
Real prominent.
I was like, oh, you should go get a picture with it. And all you did was just point to it and kind of make like a ha-ha face. You didn't have your mouth open or whatever. But this, I'll call her a lady. She was about 30 feet away and she worked there, and I could see her eyeballing us the whole time. Like, she didn't like us from the jump. Like, she took one look at us and was like, oh, they're going to be trouble.
I didn't even realize she saw us. Like, when we tried to initially, when she was giving her speech outside, I thought she told everyone to come in, and I went to go for the door, and she literally shoved me. She's like, nope. I was like, okay, sorry. Like,
very rude. She was like, these people have to leave now. And it's like, okay, well, we didn't know that. So
I thought she was telling us to start. The tour was starting and to follow her.
Yeah. So right away I was like, oh, okay. I see what we're dealing with here. So whatever. But 20 minutes later, this is the same lady that's just eyeballing us. I take the picture of Doug, and she comes walking over, and she's like, the thing is, and she's like hitting her fucking fist into her hand while she's saying this. She's like, this is a family establishment, and we won't tolerate that kind of stuff. I will call the manager and have you thrown out immediately. And we were like, I was like, okay. And she was like, I know you don't care. It's like, lady, what the fuck are you talking about? She was just on a power trip from hell. And
that line really pissed me off.
By the way, there were no kids around. It was just
Zero.
me and Doug. And oh my God, he pointed at Superman's crotch and made a ha-ha face. So
it wasn't even that bad.
No.
We were just having fun, and I understand where she's coming from, but the way she said it, that we don't care, I was like, lady, you don't know me or Phil or Vanessa. We care. All you have to do is say, like, that's not allowed. Like, you don't have to point at his dick. But she was like, I know you guys don't give a shit. Like, we're in our 30s. We actually do give a shit, but, like, we're also having a good time. Like,
look, that lady is a miserable, sad fuck. Okay.
She goes home and fingers herself and cries.
I don't want to picture that. Good God.
And then she told the manager, and the manager was looking at us the whole time, and I was like, I'm not doing anything.
It wasn't a manager. It was like some other kid that worked there, and she was like, keep an eye on them. So we'd walk over here. Here he comes. Walk over here. Comes around the corner.
Yeah, we're not going to fondle every superhero suit. It was just funny that Superman had a fucking hog on him. We thought it'd be funny to take a picture, and that was it. We were interested in everything else. We're film fans. We're not degenerates. I mean, kind of, but it was just fun.
She did not like us, that's for sure.
No, not at all. We don't like her either. Monumental twat.
Well, I guess we can go ahead and wrap this up in a bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, sorry again, everybody. I realize my voice is hot trash right now. But I do want to... This is something I didn't tell you. So, when I went to the airport to like take my flight back, I had like an hour to kill or something. So I get a coffee, and like 20 feet away, they have this grand piano set up. And this guy is just a guy that was, waiting to catch a flight. He's playing like the most beautiful shit I've ever heard. Like, he must be a professional musician or something. But it was just one of those moments where I was like reflecting on the trip, enjoying a coffee, and this beautiful music is playing. And it like nearly brought a fucking tear to my eye. You ever have those moments in life where you're like, fuck, life is pretty good?
Yeah.
You
know? You know what? I did. Those moments are always cool when you could, after a vacation.
And by the way, when he was done, everybody started clapping. That was in the coffee shop, including me.
That's amazing. It's like a good old fashioned busker in New York City or something. Just like sitting down and playing some stuff for no money at all, just doing it for fun. That's awesome. I love that. I love that story.
It was just a great little moment.
That was in LAX?
Yeah.
Or we were in different terminals.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
But yeah, those moments are always fucking cool after a trip, and you realize like everything is done and you could kind of relax a bit. Like, it's finally time to decompress. And I was sitting when I got on the plane, I was just sitting there like, that was a really, really fun trip. Like, sometimes when you go on trips with people or travel, like, some people just can't coexist, especially staying like multiple days with each other. And some people get on your nerves, but like, we didn't have any fucking issues. It was super fun all the way through. We were hanging. We were seeing people. We were going out and doing things.
We met John Carpenter.
All I thought about, I literally looked at that picture at takeoff. And I was just like, you know what? And like, it was your first time going to the West Coast. I was pretty proud of myself for my anxiety throughout the whole trip. And I was like, this was a memorable piece of history in our lives, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. And for some reason, I was like kind of nervous for you and John to meet, just because you never expect certain friends to meet. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I hope this. I mean, you're both cool people, and I had no doubts, but there's always like, man, we're all going to be living together basically for an extended period of time. But
John, we're pretty different.
Yeah, you're both very unique people, and I mean nothing but positive things about that. I know nobody like John, and I certainly know nobody like you. You're a one of a kind.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
But no, John is, I love John. John is super cool. We were, we would like talk in the morning sometimes when you were still like snoozing and we were just bullshitting.
Yeah.
I forgot where you were, but we were watching some workaholic. I don't know. I think you're on the phone with Ashley maybe. And we were watching like just YouTube shit. Yeah. But like, he's a cool dude. I love John. He's a super cool guy. Brenna is also awesome. And I honestly can't thank them enough for like letting us stay there.
Yeah. And save, $1,500, $2,000 or whatever. Yeah.
And like, it was no problems whatsoever. It was a banging time. Yeah. Also, I did want to share one more story.
Yeah,
before we get out of here, because I was just looking through my notes and we need to get this out here. So it's another thing at Warner Brothers. So you walk through this one building and they had like the VFX stuff and you saw how they layered certain scenes. And then they have this one portion where they, you know where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Looking right down the barrel, baby. So they had this one portion where they allowed you to experience like voiceover work.
Right.
So you'd go into a booth and they'd have the scene on the screen for you. A guy pops up there and he explains what you do. You get the line in your head, you see how the mouth is moving and you match it up. And you pick between a couple scenes. One was Harry Potter that I did. And then then one
The
was
Matrix.
One was The Matrix. And we were like, what would Morpheus sound like if he had Owen Wilson's voice? And Phil got in that booth and laid it down.
You got to send me that video.
I need to find it. For some reason, the video that I have in my camera roll is just the lead up to it. I think I posted the rest on Instagram, so I need to look through my archive or whatever and download it because I'm gonna do that after here. I'm gonna do that after we
okay, or maybe Vanessa took it. I don't know.
I could have sworn we might have both taken it, but I definitely remember holding the phone up and dying laughing.
Because after you record it, they play it back, and they're like, now let's watch the scene. And it's Morpheus talking. Well, no, Neo was like, no, sorry, Morpheus. Yeah. He's like,
sure this time?
Do you... I can't do the Owen voice right now. My voice is shit.
No, you have that rasp.
Do you want to take the red pill or the blue pill? Come on. Or something like that.
Genius, because the camera cut away, because obviously Morpheus doesn't say wow.
Yeah.
The camera cut away at the perfect time where like it looks like he says it off camera and you're like, that was gold. It was gold.
I should have done, dude, I could have stayed in that booth all fucking day.
I wish you would have dubbed the whole movie as Owen Wilson.
I could have done a Jason Statham.
Now, you want the blue pill or the red pill?
I'm going to kick you in the throw-ho.
Dude, did you see the Beekeeper trailer?
Yes.
With Jason Statham?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Holy shit, what? Is that...
I don't know.
Negative
it's
or
just,
positive?
It just is. It's like, of course this movie's happening.
Yeah.
I want to go see it.
You know who wrote it or directed it?
Who?
David Ayer.
What's he done?
He did the shitty Suicide Squad. He did End of Watch. He did that orc cop movie with Will Smith on Netflix, whatever the fuck, Bright, it was called.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not my favorite filmmaker, but I mean, judging from this trailer, this movie could have came out in 2005 or today.
Do you think Jason Statham's going to have one-liners related to bees?
I really, really hope so.
Wow, looks like that stung a bit.
Yeah, I got a lot of honey for you over here.
Hey, why don't you beehive yourself?
Oh my god. Are those black and yellow stripes, or are you just happy to see me? I don't even know what that means.
He takes like he takes one of those fucking smoke guns that they use on the bees and like goes into a room.
I really hope there's a portion in this movie where someone puts like a net of bees on him and he's like, oh no, not the bees. Nicolas Cage, Wicker Man, come on.
Yeah, of course.
Come on.
But they don't attack Jason Statham.
He's a
No, they're afraid of him.
Yeah.
Is
I'm
Jason
losing my
Statham
mind
the new
over here.
Chuck Norris?
You might want to put some honey on that.
Oh my god. Why don't you little busy bees fly away?
Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go make some more tea, and I'm going to pour some honey in it, yeah? Because my throat is shit right now. You got that?
Wow, that was a very meta moment.
Hey, gotta think on the fly. Or the bee.
Hey!
I don't know.
Be real.
But yeah, we are gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for listening. We will be back soon, I promise, for an Exorcist review. We're gonna have a quick turnaround.
Absolutely.
Let's not work out our work schedules on the podcast, talking about when we can podcast in the future.
Are you itching your ass right now?
No, my back. Sorry.
Wow. I was just
You wish I was itching my ass. I'm going to go put some honey on your asshole.
Looks like you need some cortisone for that sting, yeah?
Ooh, yeah, that'll take a sting out.
Looks like a real stinger. I don't know any more beat puns. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I gotta think of some.
Keep your eyes out for the sequel, The Pollinator.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I'm gonna knock the pollen out of your asshole, eh? I hope you're not allergic to my feet.
He's gonna be like,
Pew, pew, pew. Buzz off.
That's the tagline for the sequel.
oh shit. Okay, let's get out of here, Doug.
This is Seinfeld's The B Movie sequel.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. We will catch you on the next one. Doug, I love you very much.
Love you, Daddy-O. Love y'all.
See ya.